this week's F1 Bake Off Challenge. We're in Austria and I have decided to challenge myself this week to make an Austrian Sachertorte cake. Sachertorte or Sachertorte, I'm not quite sure, it's a CH in the middle and I totally sucked at German when I was at school. But this basically is just a chocolate cake made famous by the Hotel Sacher in Vienna in Austria. So let's get cooking! The first thing we need to do before we start cooking is to grease and line the base of a 9-inch cake tin. We also need to preheat the oven to 180 degrees centigrade, that's gas mark 4 or 160 degrees if you have a fan oven. You then need to put 140 grams of dark chocolate into a bowl and melt it. You can either melt it over a saucepan of boiling water or you can cheat like I did and use the microwave. Also, we need to take butter out of the fridge so it softens up at room temperature. You need to add 150 grams of unsalted butter to a bowl and then mix it up until it's soft. Once you've beaten the butter so it's nice and soft, you then need to gradually add 100 grams of caster sugar until the mixture is really light and fluffy. Once you've added the sugar and you've mixed it up and the mixture is light and fluffy, you need to add your melted chocolate and half a teaspoon of vanilla extract and beat it all up. The next thing you need to do is to separate 5 eggs. So you put the egg whites in one bowl and set that aside. And then the 5 egg yolks that you have, you add one at a time to your chocolatey mixture, beating up in between each addition. Once you've added the egg yolks to your mixture, you then need to add 75 grams of ground almonds and 40 grams of plain flour and fold it into the mixture. Once you've folded in the ground almonds and the flour, you can see what I mean about it being a really thick mixture. Put this aside and then take your bowl with your 5 egg whites in and whisk them up. You need to whisk them until they're quite stiff but not too dry. We're halfway through mixing the egg whites and you should notice that the volume increases and they start turning white and fluffy. If when you've broken the eggs up you actually get some egg yolk in here, it won't work properly, so try not to break any eggs. I'll let you into a secret, I did break a couple of eggs, so I had to start again. Once you've added the egg whites to the mixture, pour into your pan and level off, and then pop into your preheated oven and cook for 45 to 50 minutes. Once your cake is cooked and cooled, it's time to make the topping. The first thing you need to do is take some apricot jam and put 6 tablespoons in a saucepan, heat it up until it melts a bit, and then brush it over the top and sides of your cake and leave it to cool and set. When the apricot jam over the top of your cake has set, it's time to make the chocolatey topping. So into a bowl, you need to pour 200 millilitres of double cream and break in 140 grams of plain chocolate. Then you need to take a saucepan full of water, bring it to the boil and gently melt the chocolate and heat the cream to make your topping. As you can see, the chocolate's melting into the cream. You need to keep stirring it just to make sure that everything gets incorporated. When all the chocolate has melted into the cream, take it off the heat and leave it to cool for a couple of minutes. Once the chocolate and cream mixture has cooled down, you can start spooning it over your chocolate cake. When you've finished covering your chocolate cake, leave it to cool and then cut it up and enjoy it. I found I actually had a little bit of the chocolate and cream mixture left over, so if you have the same, I suggest you grab a couple of strawberries and dip away.